Molini, and welcome to yet another episode of Conversations with Langosi. Now, this is the news commentary section where we will be offering insightful commentary and exploring various perspectives on the stories that shape our world.
Cele told to apologize for his conduct towards community policing activist Ian Cameron. In today's video, we get into the controversy surrounding Cele, South Africa's Minister of Police. Now let's get into him becoming the minister. Cele has had a long and influential career in law enforcement. He first gained popularity as the provincial commissioner of KZN, where he was credited for cracking down on crime during the post-apartheid era. His tough-on-crime approach earned him the nickname General Cele and eventually led to his appointment as the National Commissioner of the South African Police in 2009. However, controversy soon surrounded Cele when allegations of corruption and maladministration emerged. In 2011, an investigation led by the public protector Mamthuli Madonsela found that Cele had acted unlawfully in relation to a lease agreement for new police headquarters. The investigation concluded that Cele had breached the principles of the Public Finance Management Act, which led to his dismissal as the National Commissioner in 2012. Despite the findings against him, Cele remained as a prominent figure in South African politics. He was still active. And then in 2018, during the president's cabinet reshuffle, he was appointed as the Minister of Police by President Cyril Ramaphosa. The move sparked a renewed debate about Cele's his suitability for the position given the previous corruption allegations. Some argued that his appointment was a sign for the new dawn president's tolerance for corruption, when others believed that Cele was deserving of the second chance that was given to him so that he could prove himself. Others questioned the authenticity of the move. Now that we know how he came back, let us get into the controversies surrounding him. One of the key controversies surrounding Cele's tenure as Minister of Police would be his approach to crime fighting, that tough shoot to kill approach, right? Now, Cele has been a vocal advocate for taking a tough stance against criminals, even going as far as suggesting that police should shoot to kill to combat violent crime, which garnered support and criticism. Critics raised several concerns regarding the shoot to kill strategy. They questioned whether this approach truly addresses the root causes of crime, such as socioeconomic disparities and systemic issues. Critics also highlighted instances where innocent individuals have become victims due to misjudgment or excessive force by law enforcement. Another controversy that has dogged the minister is his alleged involvement in political interference within the South African Police Service. Cele has been accused of using his position to protect certain individuals or groups from investigation or prosecution. Critics argue that this undermines the independence and integrity of the police force and that it erodes public trust in the institution as a whole. Historically, there have been allegations of, political interference within the SAPS, and Cele's name has frequently emerged in connection with these claims. I mean, that 2011 report, that had exposed Cele for his role as, the national commissioner who favored a specific company in the leasing of buildings for public offices. That alone raised concerns about potential corruption and the manipulation of procurement processes for personal or political gain within the department that he is in charge of. For more on this, please also do look up the report that I am obviously making mention of, but also if you have time, look up the story of the SAPS whistleblower, Umam Patricia Mashale, who exposed corruption within the SAPS, specifically implicating the Minister of Police. While the controversy surrounding the minister and his alleged involvement in political interference persists, it is essential to note that in Saudi, political interference within government agencies is not unique to police services. Various state institutions have faced similar allegations, casting a cloud over efforts to build a transparent and accountable government system.
And I'm not going to take any nonsense of somebody who regards me as a garden boy today, because you regard me as a garden boy. You come here, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I sat here, I listened to you. I sat here, I listened to you talking nonsense. Listen, it's your time to listen. Sit down and listen, young man. Or get out! Or get out!
You guys heard for yourself. You saw for yourself. You can also still access this video, guys, because Hayini, Haibo, Minister. Hayini. Like, guys, things went from 0 to 100 real quick. Anywho, another one of the controversies, that may have caught up with him is this one. It's this stunt that he pulled. The controversial incident involving Bhekicele's shut up comment to Ian Cameron. Now, Cele shouted at Action Society director Ian Cameron during a crime imbiza in Gugulethu late last year. During the heated exchange, Cele told Ian to shut up, a comment that immediately spread across various news outlets and social media platforms. Remember, we were also asking about, hey, Bo, when did things get so personal so quickly? Guys, without wasting any more time, let us get into this article. Community policing activist Ian Cameron says Police Minister Bheki must include a resignation in his apology for breaching the ethics code for members of the House. Cameron said the apology would be highly appreciated if it came with a resignation. This comes after Parliament's Joint Ethics Committee report recommended that Cele must apologize in the House for his conduct towards Cameron. This was prompted after Cele shouted at Cameron during a crime imbizo in Gugulethu on the Cape Flats last year. Cele and Cameron, who is the director of Action Society, got into a one-sided heated exchange during which the minister told Cameron to shut up and sit down. Cameron was forced out of the meeting by police officers. He laid charges of crime and injuria and assault at the Gugulethu police station against Cele and members of the police who forcibly removed him. Cameron also alleged that Cele further wagged his finger at him, saying that, while saying in a threatening tone, "Don't provoke me," and told him to shut up, sit down, and listen or get out. In his response to the committee, Cele said when Cameron addressed him, he felt that it was a vindictive and personal attack. He said the tone in which Cameron addressed him was designed to belittle him instead of working together to find solutions. He also added that Cameron's presence at the meeting was disruptive and that he did not make a positive contribution. The committee noted that Cele did not specifically address the incident that included the allegation that he shouted "shut up" at Cameron. However, video footage taken on the day, which was played by the committee, shows that Cele was irate and that he did shout at Cameron. The committee found that Cele breached item 10.1.1.3 with 4.1.5 of the Ethics Code. Item 10.1.1.3 states that the member breaches the code if the member contravened clauses 4.1. Item 4.1.5 states that the member must maintain public confidence and trust in the integrity of Parliament and thereby engender the respect and confidence that society needs to have in Parliament. The committee recommended to the House that the member enter an apology in the House for his conduct toward Mr. Cameron during the SAPS imbizo. Cameron said he welcomed the apology, but he did not think it would mean anything if Cele doesn't tender his resignation. He owes the whole country an apology. He's got blood on his hands and he is messing with the SAPS. He owes the country an apology more than me, and it should include his resignation, Cameron said. Despite being asked for comment on the matter, Cele's spokesperson Liranzu Themba said nothing. On the other hand, the DA said it believed Cele must also apologize personally to Cameron and in public. The party said this was because Cele insulted Cameron in public and therefore a public apology would be best. DA spokesperson Solly Malatsi said since his appointment to the top job in early 2018, the minister has caused irreparable harm to the South African Police Service, and despite growing calls for the presidency to rid cabinet of this useless minister, Cele remains ensconced at the union buildings. Guys, the article can be found on the IOL website. Mna, I end my reading there. However, I peleli lapo. It's also just funny how, after, I think there was that one the cabinet reshuffle, right, where President Cyril Ramaphosa made Cele the minister. Then there was that other one that followed shortly after. And I thought that Cele was leaving because, of his track record at Tusayo. But it looks like people get rewarded for being loyalists to this new dawn, hey? Now, do I think that he's going to apologize? I doubt. I mean, y'all can see how he was shouting La Payana. I really don't think this man sees any faults in his actions. And I mean, the article does also mention that, when in his report, to the ethics committee, he did not make mention of his shut up comment, Yena, he just, pointed out how he felt and how attacked he felt and how he just felt like this was a personal attack, against. So I really do not think that, he is going to apologize. One of the many other controversies that surround him is the one that further exposes the minister for turning a blind eye on things that need his attention. Guys, how is it that nearly 4,000 police officers that were arrested for various crimes are still actively working? If you don't believe me, please look it up. There's more than one article that actually touches onto this. The Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, recently admitted in a written answer that 3,981 of the 5,489 police members who have been charged with various crimes since 2019 still wear the blue uniform. Oki Terreblanche, DAMP, and the party's spokesperson on police, says in yet another indictment on the legal system as well as the accountability of the police, it is unthinkable that 5,489 members of the police who are meant to protect the public from criminals are in fact the criminals themselves. What makes it worse is that 3,981 of these officers are still walking the streets as policemen. This despite possible criminal convictions still hanging over their heads. Despite the large number of arrests, only 430 convictions have been secured in the past 4 years, says Terreblanche. This lack of action sends a clear message to ordinary law-abiding citizens that the police are above the law and are free from prosecution, a quality that Cele often brought to the fore. Some of the criminal charges against the accused policemen include murder and rape, attempted murder, kidnapping, perjury, corruption and extortion, defeat of law, firing a firearm in a public place, burglary of residential and business premises, bodily injury due to the negligent use of firearm, abandonment, abuse, neglect of a child, assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm. Terreblanche says the reason why so many of these police members are still at large is because of the police's discipline regulations. According to the regulations, a police officer may only be suspended for a period of 60 days, after which the suspension is automatically lifted, regardless of how serious the alleged crime is. It is time for Cele to ensure more accountability within the police. He must ensure that those accused of serious crimes remain suspended until their disciplinary hearings are completed and appropriate consequence management is implemented. Regulations are the responsibility of the minister, and he failed to make any amendments to strengthen the police's accountability. The DA will therefore write to Cele to demand amendments to the regulations so that accused police members remain suspended until all legal procedures have been completed. If we can manage this, South Africans no longer have to guess whether a police member is going to help them or harm them, says Tara Blanche. This article can be accessed via the R News website. Yazini, guys, the controversy surrounding Lotata continues to be a topic of great public interest and debate. Supporters argue that, Lotata is an effective leader, whereas most of us who are the critics can't shy away from the scandals that he is alleged to be a part of. Ours is to question his ethical standards and suitability for public office. And we wouldn't be doing this, honestly, if he was doing his job. And if these people or these ministers or these officials are going to continue taking things personal when we ask them why they're not doing their job, or when we point out the wrongs or the red flags in the departments that they are in charge of, sisentweni, sisenkingeni, we are definitely in trouble. With that being said, we got into the various aspects of this minister's career, from his initial rise as a successful provincial commissioner to the events that led to, him becoming the national commissioner, to the findings of the public protector, that led to him no longer being the national commissioner, to him then coming back in 2018 as the minister of police due to that cabinet reshuffle, Gamatamela. Kuningi nje, but whether you believe he deserves a chance at redemption or question his integrity, one thing is for sure: the controversy continues to shape the public perception of this individual per se. And also, like I'm saying, DIP Dalento, guys, if a minister was doing his job, no one would be coming for him right now. And if he was doing his job, he wouldn't feel like he's being attacked or singled out.
That marks the end of today's video. Thank you so much for lending your eyes and ears. I hope that you found today's video informative. Please do not forget to click on that subscription button or light the little notification bell so that you do not miss out on any new uploads. Enkosini.